Welcome to the Daily Sports Content Economy podcast for March 4, 2026. We created this podcast specifically for alternative and Tier 2 sports leagues, teams, competitions, and the athletes who compete in them. We just got out of a meeting with Bryce, and he wanted us to share what should be top of mind for today as you navigate the day.
And we really do have a mountain of intelligence to get through for this deep dive.
We absolutely do. Today, we are synthesizing a grand total of 13 distinct source documents.
Right, which comprises over 70 articles, newsletters, and reports.
Exactly. That includes 50 headlines curated by Perplexity, plus some incredibly deep industry insights from SBJ, The Athletic, the GIST, CapSignal Sports, Digiday,
Sport Business, Stream Time, Future Tools, and Marketing Dive. I mean, it is a massive stack of data.
It's huge, but that's exactly why we're here, We've distilled all of that down to the critical signals you need to be paying attention to.
So let's get right into it. I want to set the table with the top 4 headlines dominating the landscape right now.
Okay, number 1, coming to us from Streamtime Sports and Sports Pro. Apple is pulling back from its MLS deal early while Formula One eyes an exclusive new era.
Yeah, with F1 sponsorship projected to exceed a staggering $3 billion in 2026.
Unbelievable numbers. Number 2, via CapSignal Sports, we are seeing a $16 million influx of early-stage capital pouring directly into smart courts, AI decision layers, and prediction markets.
And number 3 is massive for women's sports. From the GSD and The Athletic, the unrivaled championship tips off tonight with a $600,000 prize on the line.
Right alongside aggressive WNBA collective bargaining negotiations proposing a $5.75 million salary cap.
Huge shift there. And finally, headline 4, sourced from PwC and YouTube via Perplexity. The creator economy and AI have officially infiltrated sports contracts.
Yeah, with these creator access clauses becoming the new standard across the industry.
It is a heavy news day. But our mission for this deep dive is to translate these macro trends into immediate end-of-day action plans for you.
Whether you represent a niche sport, an emerging league, or, you're an athlete building your own brand.
Exactly. We're going to break down exactly what you need to do with this information before you log off today.
Okay, let's unpack this. We have to start with this massive shift in the new sponsorship playbook.
It's changing fast.
It really is. I was reading the Streamtime Sports analysis, and they pointed out this wild contrast. Apple is retreating from its MLS deal years early, but at the exact same time, they're ramping up an exclusive new era with F1 in the U.S.
And if you look at what Liberty Media CEO Derek Chang said in SBJ,
Yeah.
they don't even look at the Apple deal as just TV.
Right.
They view it as a ubiquitous tech partnership across Apple Music, Apple News, the App Store.
Right, but hold on, I have to ask, isn't traditional television reach still the holy grail for a sports property? Why pivot so hard into these adjacent tech spaces?
Well, because the definition of reach has fundamentally changed. Chang essentially called the traditional television viewership metric archaic.
Archaic.
Wow. Yeah. Sponsors don't just want passive eyeballs on a broadcast anymore. They want deep, multi-touchpoint integration. It's about ecosystem saturation.
That makes sense.
And we're seeing this exact same philosophy explode in real estate and naming rights. Look at the data curated by Perplexity and Sportsful. Inter Miami just landed a naming rights deal with the Brazilian fintech company Nu.
Oh, right.
But it's not just a sign on a stadium. It's a multi-asset bundle. They get the stadium name, a lower back of shirt patch, a premium hospitality lounge, and an entire adjacent plaza at Miami Freedom Park.
Okay, so it's about owning the entire physical and digital footprint of the fan's experience.
Yeah.
But look, if I'm a Tier 2 property, say a minor league soccer team or a regional gravel racing series, how do I actually execute that? I don't have a $1 billion stadium plaza to sell to a fintech giant.
You scale a concept down to your reality. It's all about packaging.
Okay.
If you're running a regional racing series, do not sell your assets piecemeal. Don't just sell a banner at the finish line. You package your physical venue, the digital space on your athletes' jerseys, and your community events into one single campus bundle proposal today.
Got it.
Sell the naming rights to your fan zones or hospitality tents as part of a larger ecosystem play.
And if you're an athlete listening to this, this is your cue to update your media kit.
Exactly.
You need to pitch 365-day storylines from your home base, whether that's your local training trail, your surf break, the local gym. Pitch those specific spaces for hospitality activations, not just your social media reach.
You're giving the sponsor a world to inhabit, not just a billboard.
Yeah. And speaking of prime real estate, Yahoo Finance and the Athletics Money Call reported that Tyson Foods just expanded their partnership to cover jersey patches across all 19 Arkansas Razorbacks varsity sports. Literally all of them.
Which just shows that inventory is expanding everywhere.
Hmm.
But what's crucial to note here is that it's not just traditional food and beverage brands jumping in. Tech companies are acting as primary sponsors now.
Oh, like the Chelsea deal.
Exactly. SportsPro noted that Chelsea signed the AI firm IFS as a front-of-shirt sponsor through the 25-26 season. They're targeting £65 million long-term.
Wow.
And going back to F1, they just renewed a £100 million deal with Salesforce.
Yeah.
But the critical piece of that deal is that it includes launching an AI fan companion specifically designed to help fans understand the incredibly complex 2026 regulations.
I actually love that. Using the sponsor's technology to literally educate the fan base on how the sport works.
It's so smart.
If you are a niche sport trying to capture a new audience, building a sponsored How the Sport Works guide for newcomers and selling that as inventory is a brilliant play.
And if you're running a league, your homework for today is to write a one-page policy defining your patch inventory and category exclusivity before this tech sponsor wave completely alters your current deals.
Definitely. And that tech integration brings us straight into the creator economy. The PwC 2026 North America Sports Outlook is predicting that creator access clauses are going to become standard boilerplate in rights deals. Broadcasters are building internal creator studios now because athlete-owned IP is the new economic layer of sports.
Let me stop you there, because creator access clauses sounds like heavy legal jargon.
True.
For an independent athlete or a startup league operator, what does that actually mean in plain English?
It basically means that when a broadcaster or a league buys the rights to air a game, the contract now explicitly states that third-party creators like YouTubers, TikTokers, or the athletes themselves have guaranteed legal access to the raw footage to make their own content.
Oh.
The leagues realize that traditional broadcasts aren't enough to capture younger demographics, so they are legally mandating that creators get access to the product.
Got it. So the barrier to entry for content is dropping.
Yeah.
And the technology is accelerating that too.
Yeah.
The 4 a.m. Club and YouTube updates show that YouTube's 2026 tools are now auto-selecting the best moments from live streams and automatically generating shorts.
Right, which lowers the cost of content creation to near zero. But that raises a massive problem regarding ownership. If an AI is automatically clipping your race, who owns that content?
Exactly.
IP tracking is becoming the most critical infrastructure in sports. Companies like One Team, Genius Sports, and Sportradar are building the attribution rails.
Attribution rails. Think of that like a digital...
Like a digital toll booth.
Exactly like a digital toll booth.
Mm-hmm.
It's the software that tracks every time an AI uses a piece of footage or an athlete's likeness, ensuring the right person gets paid.
Because we aren't just talking about video clips anymore. SBJ reported that former NBA player Meta World Peace just launched an AI avatar platform specifically for celebrities to monetize their digital likeness.
This is a wild frontier.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the early days of social media where athletes were giving away their digital rights just for exposure.
Right, except now the stakes are AI avatars that can literally act and speak on your behalf. There's also a lot of market friction regarding where AI platforms draw their ethical lines. Future Tools reported that Anthropic's AI model, Claude, just hit #1 in the App Store.
And what was the catalyst there?
The catalyst was that they refused a Pentagon deal due to their strict internal policies against mass surveillance and autonomous weapons. That refusal led to a massive surge in uninstalls for ChatGPT as users fled to Claude.
Wow.
And just to be clear, we are looking at this strictly from a business and market share perspective.
Absolutely.
The takeaway here is that consumers are actively voting with their downloads based on IP and usage boundaries, and those boundaries have massive financial consequences.
That is the exact takeaway. The market is highly sensitive to how technology is governed. So if you're a team operator right now, you need to update your standard contracts today. Add specific creator language that defines exactly what footage creators can access and which sponsors they're allowed to tag.
And for the athletes.
If you're an athlete, you need to write a content rights rider before the day ends. You must retain the rights to your vlog and behind-the-scenes clips. More importantly, decide your personal AI boundaries right now.
Yeah, write an AI I'm comfortable with list and give it to your agent so you aren't caught off guard when a sponsor wants to use your digital likeness.
And for the leagues listening, you have a major policy decision to make today. Do you want centralized control of AI avatars for your athletes or individual control? Figure that out before the technology outpaces your rulebook.
Plus, if you're running a competition, enable YouTube's AI Best Moments tools for your very next stream. But make sure you start watermarking and logging your official footage today so those digital toll booths can track your IP.
But here's the thing about all this AI and automated content. It's entirely fueled by data.
Which brings us to this CapSignal Sports report highlighting a $16 million influx of early-stage capital into smart infrastructure.
The edge infrastructure boom.
Yeah.
Let's look at where that capital is actually going. Zenus raised $6 million to scale smart tennis courts that use electronic line calling and AI analytics.
Okay.
Sport IQ raised a Series A for a smart Spalding basketball that tracks over 190 data points per shot. Marquee raised $1.2 million for an AI decision intelligence platform for clubs. And Pred raised $2.5 million for a crypto-native sports prediction market built on the Base network.
Capital isn't just funding front-end apps, it's funding the sensory layer of the sports themselves.
Hold on, though. Edge infrastructure, crypto-native sports prediction market on the Base network.
Yeah.
If I'm a niche sports organizer listening right now, my eyes are glazing over. What does that actually mean for my day-to-day operations?
Fair question. Edge infrastructure just means putting the computer processing power directly into the physical environment, like putting sensors directly inside the tennis net or the basketball itself, rather than sending a video feed to a server halfway across the country to be analyzed.
Oh, so it makes data collection instant.
Exactly. And a crypto-native prediction market simply means a betting platform built on blockchain technology, specifically the Base network, which allows fans to place micro bets on highly specific outcomes without a traditional Vegas-style middleman taking a massive climb.
So it's literally turning the ball and the court into a data factory and making it easier for fans to wager on that data in real time.
Yeah, and the big ad tech players are eating this up. Digiday and SBJ's earnings reports showed Sportradar growing 20% to $429 million.
Huge growth.
Genius Sports is expanding their ad tech deployments with Magnite and NBC Sports to place context-aware ads using these exact AI data feeds. Oh, and the wearable company Whoop. They are planning to hire 600 new workers in 2026.
Because data is the new foundation of sports monetization. If you aren't capturing data, you are leaving money on the table.
So what's the action item here?
If you're an athlete, pull charts from your training data, like your Whoop recovery trends or your strain charts, and storyboard a short, sponsor-friendly video. Performance data is premium content that sponsors want to be adjacent to.
And for teams.
If you're a team, list every single piece of match data you capture, from GPS to biometrics, and pitch that data to support dynamic ad formats in your next broadcast negotiation.
Love that. And for the niche leagues, stop obsessing over simple app interfaces. If your sport touches wagering in any way, focus on market structure. Reach out to a data provider that serves niche sports today.
And for event organizers, talk to your timing partner before you go to sleep. Expose your basic timing data via an API, which just means letting other software talk to your software and co-brand that live data feed with a technical sponsor.
Speaking of monetizing data and capturing new audiences, we're seeing an absolute masterclass in building a new sports economy from the ground up right now in women's sports.
We absolutely are. The GIST and the Athletics Pulse are giving wall-to-wall coverage of the unrivaled championship happening tonight.
Oh yeah, Phantom BC with Kelsey Plum going up against Miss BC, led by Brianna Stewart and Arike Ogunbowale.
The business metrics behind this are staggering. The league generated $2 million in revenue just from their Philly road trip, and another $1 million from the Brooklyn semifinals.
And the prize pool for tonight is $600,000.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, you can see how this momentum is reshaping the entire landscape. The WNBA Players Association is currently in intense collective bargaining negotiations.
Right.
The league's latest counterproposal includes bumping the salary cap from $1.5 million up to $5.75 million and allowing max contracts a year earlier. But the union is still pushing hard for gross revenue sharing.
Which is the real structural change. Revenue sharing ties the athlete's financial success directly to the league's growth.
Exactly.
And the ripple effect of this growth is hitting the NWSL too. SportsPro reported that the incoming 2028 Atlanta NWSL franchise just secured a record 7-year, $28 million jersey deal with Aflac. Mark and Guy have actually pointed out how massive that commitment is for a brand.
But I'm struggling to see how a Tier 2 team replicates that. Atlanta doesn't even play a game for 2 more years. Selling a jersey sponsorship for $28 million before you even have a roster for one. How does a smaller league learn from that without a giant broadcast deal backing them up?
By understanding what Aflac is actually buying,
Yeah.
they aren't buying current reach, they are buying the future trajectory. They're betting on momentum. And that is exactly how a Tier 2 property needs to pitch. If you're an athlete, you need to create a trajectory graphic for your pitch deck today. Don't just show how many followers you have right now. Show your growth rate over the last 6 months.
Show your engagement spikes.
Exactly. Sell that future momentum. And if you are launching a new team or a competition, pre-sell your property before you even launch. Assemble a pitch deck today focusing on macro trends like the Olympics and the explosive growth of women's sports to secure early sponsor conversations.
That reframes the entire pitch. It's about selling where you're going, not just where you are. So if you're a league operator, you need to compare your top-tier sponsorship rates to these new benchmarks. Adjust your pricing narrative immediately to position yourself as a highly engaged, cost-efficient alternative for brands that might be priced out of an NWSL deal.
And treat your best athlete storytellers as literal co-producers for your brand, not just passing influencers.
That trajectory and scale eventually lead to global mega events, which brings us to a fascinating paradox right now with the 2026 World Cup.
The World Cup, yeah. Perplexity curated data showing FIFA is budgeting $8.9 billion in revenue.
But on the flip side, The Athletic reports that Foxborough has given FIFA a March 17th ultimatum over a $7.8 million security funding gap for Gillette Stadium, risking their entire entertainment license.
It's incredible. You have an entity budgeting almost $9 billion, but local execution is grinding to a halt over a $7 million security gap.
It really highlights the friction between global revenue and local, on-the-ground reality.
It does. But despite those operational bumps, high-level sponsorships remain remarkably stable when values align.
Right, SportsPro interviewed the CEO of LA28, who noted that sponsors aren't fleeing over the recent Casey Wasserman governance headlines.
Why is that?
Because the sponsors are hyper-focused on long-term values alignment and purpose-driven campaigns. If the core mission of the event is strong, the brand money stays, even when the operational or executive side hits turbulence.
That is a crucial lesson in risk mitigation for any sports property. Values alignment acts as a shield. Let's hit a few quick radar items before we close out.
Let's do it.
From The Athletic, the World Baseball Classic starts tonight, and Shohei Ohtani is returning strictly as a hitter for Japan.
Over in sport business, Premier Rugby is undergoing a massive structural shift, moving to a franchise model and scrapping promotion and relegation entirely to shore up club finances.
Meanwhile, the EuroLeague is trying to raise a massive 2.5 billion euros.
And back to The Athletic for some NFL news. The Kansas City Chiefs just traded Art-Pro cornerback Trent McDuffie to the LA Rams for a 2026 first-round pick, effectively ending the Kyler Murray era in Arizona via the draft implications.
A lot of moving parts there across very different sports. But the underlying themes remain incredibly relevant for our audience.
I have to play devil's advocate here. Why do we care about NFL trades or European rugby structures in a deep dive dedicated to alternative and Tier 2 sports?
Because the underlying mechanisms are about long-term asset management and risk mitigation. The Chiefs trading a star player for future draft capital is a masterclass in offloading expensive contracts to acquire future assets.
Ah, I see.
It's a lesson in pipeline management that emerging leagues desperately need to mimic when looking at how they acquire and retain talent.
And Premier Rugby scrapping relegation to protect club finances.
That is about prioritizing financial stability over traditional competition structures. It's a direct blueprint for how niche leagues might need to structure their own seasons to guarantee sponsor visibility.
That brings it all together. So if you're an athlete, your homework is to write a "What I Stand For" statement today. Put it front and center in your media kit. Clear values alignment is your best protection against controversy.
For teams, add a slide to your deck today clearly stating your specific mission, like expanding grassroots access, and explicitly show how sponsor money directly advances that mission.
Leagues, you need to map out a 2026 to 2028 roadmap today to give sponsors the confidence they need to make multi-year commitments, just like Aflac did with Atlanta.
And competitions. Capitalize on the global hype. Bundle a race entry with a World Cup watch party experience and pitch it to soccer-adjacent sponsors today.
Exactly. The macro trends always dictate the micro opportunities if you know where to look.
So what does this all mean? We are looking at a sheer volume of tactical shifts today that is almost hard to comprehend.
Yeah.
We're moving from AI auto-generating your highlight reels to smart courts digitizing your every step, all the way to massive structural franchise changes in how leagues commercialize themselves and manage their talent pipelines.
It means the ground beneath you is shifting from a media-first economy to a data and IP-first economy.
Yeah.
And I want to leave you with a final thought to mull over as you implement these strategies today.
Let's hear it.
With AI auto-clipping your footage, biometric wearables tracking your heart rate, and smart courts logging every single millisecond of your movement, what happens when the absolute most valuable asset a Tier 2 sport owns isn't its media rights or its ticket sales, but the proprietary AI training dataset generated by the athlete's own bodies? Are you pricing your data right now, or are you just giving it away for free?
That is a heavy question to end on, but a vital one. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We've given you the playbook. Now it's on you. Go implement these action items before the day is over. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening to this edition of the Daily Sports Content Economy Podcast. If you're ready to build your content media empire, we should probably talk. Visit rootgroupmarketing.com. Thanks for watching and listening.